May I have your attention, please? The podcast World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment, is now on the air. May I have your attention, please? The podcast World Awakenings is now on the air.
This is World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with your host, Carl Gruber. World Awakenings is a podcast dedicated to opening your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to all things metaphysical and spiritual, and just how they play an all-important role in our daily life. So join Carl on this enlightening experience as he interviews metaphysical and spiritual experts to discuss, debate, and delve deeply into the hows and whys of this worldwide awakening.
We welcome you to the World Awakenings podcast. Before we start, we'd like to tell you about a special ebook written by the show's host, Carl Gruber. The 3 Pillars, a simple 3-step process to manifest positive and permanent change in your life. The concise 32-page 3 Pillars ebook will teach you how to become a successful and consistent co-creator of your life path with the law of attraction. Yes, you can manifest the life you truly desire, and the ebook is absolutely free. Simply go to Carl's website, carlgruberlifecoach.com. That's KARLGRUBER lifecoach.com. Click on the header title About Me and get the free download today. Carl Gruber's free ebook, The 3 Pillars, will positively change your life.
Hey everyone, and welcome once again to my podcast, World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment. I'm your host, Carl Gruber, and well, for today's show, I hope you guys are ready to laugh, have some fun, and be enlightened and delighted, because I have 2 very special guests who are going to knock your socks off with their wisdom and radiance. Because before we do that, please take a moment to click that subscribe button below to help keep this show going and so you never miss a single episode. Okay, so this show is going to be a blast and a bit more like a panel discussion than just an interview, as 2 of my most wonderful light worker cohorts and personal friends of mine are here with me today. So first, let's check in with our first lady of light, love, and truth, Eleni Yiambilis. Eleni is the co-founder of CaliTaros.life, and her true passion is a motivational speaker with skills as a certified life and manifestation coach. And her mission is to help people wake their dreams and live their most fulfilling lives. Hey, Eleni, welcome to World Awakenings.
Oh, thanks, Carl. I'm so happy to be here today.
All right, that is awesome, man. This is going to be fun. And let's quickly go to our second guest. My other most awesome guest today is life coach, professional singer, Reiki, and yoga master, owner of her own life coaching certification school, and super successful entrepreneur, Renee Marcou. I can't believe I messed your name up. Renee Marcou. Renee is truly the real deal, and she spreads nothing but light, love, and joy throughout the world. Make sure you check out her phenomenal singing YouTube music videos. So welcome, Renee.
Thank you so much, Carl. I'm so happy to be here with you and Eleni and just have this amazing conversation today.
You know, I'm sorry. I'm just like having so much fun. I'm already messing up all the words, but I was going to do this because your radiance is so amazing. I got to wear sunglasses because your light is so bright. I don't want to go blind from your radiance.
I love it.
I told you I was going to do that. So, well, guys, let's just have a far-ranging discussion. But, we mentioned this earlier. Eleni, prior to our chat, had suggested as a topic for us to discuss keeping our vibration high when the world is facing challenges, how to keep a positive outlook on the world and for the world, and also keeping ourselves as a priority. So go ahead, Eleni, you brought that up. What do you think?
Well, I sometimes I feel like it is easy for people to get sucked into disharmony with things that they read and things that they view in the media. And then, people sharing their opinions about things on social media. It can be difficult for people to pull themselves back from that, to kind of recenter. So one of the things that I want to point out that I think about all the time, for one area of the world might be experiencing a disharmony, but I like to think about all of the love that's happening. So there are things in the world that are happening, but what we think about and what gets our attention will grow. So what can we think about? Well, we can think about that today, and probably right now while we're doing this podcast, there's a wedding happening. People are uniting in love all over the world. People are making love all over the world right now. Babies are being born. People are adopting pets, opening their homes to animals that need love. And, even in that place of disharmony, there are people, sometimes chaos and catastrophe brings out the compassion in people. There are people helping people right now. It's opened up the hearts of people around the world, giving them a chance to be generous, to be loving, to be devoted in prayer. So if we give our attention to those kinds of things that are happening, even in the areas of disharmony, focusing on where's the love, there's got to be love there, but also just in the world, there is far more love happening in the world right now than there is disharmony. That's what I believe. And if we put our attention on that, I think that's the secret sauce to helping heal the world. Renee, do you have any thoughts on that? I feel like you do.
Well, of course I do. I'm totally as you were starting to share, I'm getting the chills down my spine, which is always my symbol of alignment. And yes, absolutely. I'm here. I'm feeling what you're saying. It's embodied within me as well. And I totally agree, right? If we, at all times, this world is going to have contrast. And this world is going to have things that we want to be a part of, and light and love and joy and all these experiences. So it really is true. It's where are you going to nudge the needle? Is it going to go toward one side that's, all of this doom and gloom and sadness and disharmony, which granted, that's always going to be going on too, right? Or are you going to point the needle toward the direction of all those beautiful experiences that you said are already happening in the world right now as we speak? And as we know with the law of attraction, of course, I've got to bring the law of attraction into this conversation, but we know where we put our attention, more of that energy flows. So it's not to say one of those things where it's we're oblivious or blind to the things that aren't going on. But when the people have a belief system around this world is so dangerous, this world is so terrible, this world X, Y, and Z of all these negative things, it's let's take a pause for a sec there, because that's actually the furthest from truth, and just really say, okay, does that really even resonate with me? Or am I picking that up from something outside of me that's not even my truth? Majority of times that's what it is. So it's really let's have a look at that belief system for a sec and just bring it to the surface. What really is the truth about what's going on? And where do I want to really be pointing my attention and creating more of? Right? Because when we're in that disharmony and we're vibrating there and we're stuck there, so many people are stuck there, especially, God, I could go down a whole whirlwind about the whole programming and all that stuff that goes on the planet. However, if you are looking at more of disharmony, you're adding to more disharmony. If you're going to be looking at more love, you're adding to more love. And that is the beautiful piece to it. Okay, we're in an earth that has contrast, but it's okay because we know we can refocus to where we want to be.
Well, we can't top that. That's the end of the podcast, right?
No, the end. Thank you for tuning in.
This is why I have you two on here, because Eleni and Renee, I mean, your concept and your perspective and what you project to the world is so true. And this is too why I have this podcast. Why are people now awakening more than ever to all things spiritual, enlightening, and metaphysical? It's because we need it now more than ever. I mean, right now, what is going on in the world here in March of 2022 is just out of control. So the media would have us believe, and you talked about the programming, but when we have people like you two who are here to help raise that vibration and that light, you really do. You are truly, as teachers and just living your own life, walking in the integrity of eternal, universal principles of love and oneness. You are raising the vibration of the people around you and the world. And thank you for doing that.
And I'm just going to jump in there. Never, so like you said, so they would have us believe that it's, just this scary, terrible world, but never have there been so many light workers teaching other people. I just know here in the United States and just going on social media, so many people are doing workshops and different retreats, and there's just all kinds of coaching available, and people are posting on YouTube uplifting content. Never in history has there been the means to spread the light like we have it today. And it comes back to like what Renee was hitting on earlier. What are you going to give your attention to? What are you going to give your attention to? If you, with the disharmony, it's like, you think about that, like while you're watching, like, how is this making me feel? How is this making me feel? Because that feeling, just feeling it is law of attraction, bringing more of it to you. So if it makes you feel unsafe, it's not only contributing to the problem that's going on in that area of the world, but it's going to deliver you more situations that make you feel unsafe. If you don't like the feeling state that something's evoking from you, that's your soul saying, hey, we're going off track here. Your guidance system, beautiful guidance system that it is. Be grateful for that. Negative emotions are such a gift because that's letting you know it's your little gauge as to when you need to bob and weave when needed. But this is a great time to be alive, a great time of people sharing ideas and expansion and perspectives. And perspective is a point of power, I love this time-space reality. I came down here to experience all that I could, and it wasn't to feel disgruntled, sad, or afraid. I'll tell you that much.
That's right, girl.
Yeah.
Well, and you make a good point, our self as what we do as light workers, law of attraction, life coaches is, we're human beings and we experience our ups and downs. And the thing is, because of what we understand, we can lift ourselves up. We may see, some attack for on television, not that I even watch TV, and it'll pull us down, or we'll get in a little tiff with somebody maybe. That still happens to us, but we understand we can lift ourselves up. And our job for what we do is to help people do that too. Most of the world right now still doesn't understand that they can raise their vibration and their love and understanding instead of getting caught into that tornado of pulling down in a lower vibrating negative place.
Definitely. And I can see for sure that there are still people on the planet who don't know that they even have the power to do that within themselves. And I feel like it's my job, it's our job, it's all light workers' job to be standing and stepping out and being seen and facing our own fears of visibility so we can shine that light for people. We're blessed. We've been taught the tools. We have the wisdom within us to know, and whoever else had taught us along the way. I know for sure I have so many mentors and people who I admire and look up to, and I'm learning from all the time because I'm constantly investing in how can I help other people. So ultimately I have to start with myself first. How can I help me? How can I raise up out of a vibration when I see something that is contrasting and that does bring up that sadness or that fear or that pain, instead of being in the downward spiral of that tunnel of like, oh my gosh, I'm in this pain. Oh my gosh, I'm never getting out of here. And you just keep twirling on down and finding all these reasons for things to not work in your life, which is where a lot of people end up going because of the program and the system here that wants to keep you in fear, that is literally created so that people don't have that enlightenment within themselves so they can come out. But there are people out there who are doing it, who are leaders, who have stepped up. I have so many amazing colleagues. The two of you here right now know these principles, know how to help people out of that downward spiral, if you will, and really look for the things in life that do matter. And that you remind the people that you have the power within you. Like, it's literally within you. If I can do it, every other person on the planet can do it. Everybody.
Well,
and I was not born with this mindset either, just so everybody knows. It was a learned mindset that I had to realign with in my journey to be able to live the life that I literally call the life of my dreams. I honestly live that way every day because I know how powerful I am and how powerful the universal laws are, and the universe, like the universe wants us to be living an abundant, free, gorgeous, incredible life as we define it.
I've heard Eleni say this too, but I'm gonna latch on to two personal stories for both of you, if you don't mind. How you as individuals have used what you understand to pull yourself up, especially in relationship things. The same thing we see on a global basis can happen relationship wise. Now, Renee, you've had issues with narcissists in your life. Lenny has had, trauma and abuse in marriage. How did you guys pull yourself up out of those situations, knowing what you know?
I'll jump in with that too. I mean, especially now looking back at the situation, I can connect a lot of dots to identifying, a lot of how I attracted those things. There's an accountability pants, and sometimes it's something that people don't want to hear. Eleni, I never would have created an abusive relationship. I never would have. Self-love. Self-love is the key, because at the end of the day, if you're putting out love, you're a really nice person, you're out there, you're generous, you're being kind to everyone, but you're hating yourself, you're critical of your physical vessel, you're picking yourself apart, you're not feeling worthy. Maybe, you were told you were stupid all your life in school. Now you just don't feel capable or competent, and you're always criticizing yourself. Well, what are you attracting? Critical people. Mm-hmm. Are you abusing yourself? Are you so hard on yourself that maybe you're not eating right, or you're depriving yourself of sleep, you're working yourself to exhaustion? Are you abusing yourself? Are you using any substances that are abusive to you? Are you eating too many toxic foods? Your body knows that is abusive. You know what's healthy and what's not. At this point in our lives, you have to just think about, how are my actions coming back to me in the boomerang? And that was an afterthought for me. Like, when I really learned and understood about the universal laws, like, okay, well, I'm a good person. How did I attract that? And I thought about it. I wasn't always kind to myself. Inner belief systems, self-conversations, mental diet, love. Love is the answer, and with yourself first and foremost. I'm sure Renee has an interesting perspective on this as well to share.
Eleni, like 100%, you totally nailed that. You've literally shined the light on where people don't want to go, because so often we are so programmed to want to blame others. Yet when we blame others in situations, we're not owning our power, we're actually giving it away. And I just love so much that it's really all about the self-love, like with your experience and how you shared it. It wasn't that, because we have to do the reflection, right? I think reflection really helps us kind of navigate where we want to be going in the future. So, like, for example, how you said, like, I did the reflecting and I was like, like so nice to everybody else, and everybody on the outside was getting like the best version of me. But how was I speaking to me? How did I feel about, and all these things? And you named so many right and powerful questions in what you shared. So just to piggyback on that, like my whole experience, when I know you asked me, Carl, originally about the narcissistic abusive relationships that I've had in my life. And it was always came down to perfectionism for me. So where did I get that perfectionism muscle? Why did I constantly massage? I need to be perfect. I need, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately what that meant was I was not allowing myself to be myself and feeling that I was enough the entire time. So I was looking inside another person to prove to me, Renee, you're enough, you're amazing, you're here to crush it in this lifetime, however you define that. You know what I'm saying? And it was like all these amazing, I have incredible relationships. So I don't want to throw that out there, like, especially for the relationships and people that are watching this interview. I highly and deeply appreciate all the relationships in my life, but even the ones that were painful and they were abusive to me, to my emotions, to my physical, to my mental, those relationships I can now look back on and appreciate, because what they did was force me to get back into the game of self-love. And I know very clearly why I attracted those relationships, how I did not listen to my intuition and my inner knowing when it was saying red flags, get the heck out of here. Don't be involved with this person. You need to let this go. And I came up with all these other reasons why I needed to stay. But ultimately it stemmed from that whole other belief system as well, as perfection. Okay, so what does that even mean to me? Because perfection is going to mean something different to everybody, right? But it was a part of me had that people pleaser inside. Unless everybody else around me loves me, I can't love me. Mm-hmm. And that's the most backward belief system, because in order to really feel that love and to see love outside of you, you must love the self first. You were born here to love yourself. You loved yourself fully and completely when you were here. It just, my belief is that people in the outside around us project different things upon us, or, like having narcissists in my early stages of life, even like people around me, whether they were family or friends or just commercials or whatever, that stuck in my subconscious mind that said, all right, Renee, like prove to me that you're worth being loved. And those were the situations that I didn't uncover until later on in my life, after having a couple narcissistic relationships, until I had that one really knock me to the ground, keep me punch down on me down there on the ground, and then like flatten me out. And then it was like, okay, like time for rebirth. And for a long time after that, I still wanted that man to be in my life. And that is one thing I had to look in the mirror and forgive myself, because I was so brutally embarrassed at the fact that I actually wanted this person still in my life, that I still felt this tiny inkling within me that I still had to prove to him that I'm good enough. No, it was me the whole time. And you start to find yourself in this extremely toxic situation, and your self-love is just completely deflated. So it took that big let's say, kick to the ground in order for me to really build from the ground up with the new foundation of this is who I am. This is what I'm standing for in this lifetime. And now I'm taking this story and I'm going to share it with other people around the world, so they know that they don't have to go through that. And if they are, here's how you can rebuild.
Well, that's some beautiful information. I'm going to give you my own perspective too. I've been a bachelor for hundreds of years. I mean, a long time, and I was married a long time ago. And I've had many people, it's not, I've had dates and things like that over the years. And many people say, well, how come you just never found that other person? I mean, I'm completely open to that, but I like myself. and I love myself and I'm comfortable walking in my own shoes. And that's how I'm able to do this. Sure, again, if that particular right person came in, but you're talking about self-love. And I honestly can say that about myself. And that is why I'm comfortable every day, just who I am. And it's unfortunate, but sometimes people do go through the situations where you get kicked to the ground, like you said. But I know Eleni used to pull herself up gratitude, which I love that story.
I do too.
Yeah. I mean, that's just that time period in my life. There was it was a deep, how do I put this? Just starting over from the ground up. I left a really toxic situation that literally almost cost me my life. I was addicted to substances, and I found myself homeless, wanting to be sober, and just wanting some new way. Like, I was like, you know what? I'm a good person. This is not the life I'm supposed to be living. Life is not supposed to feel like this. And my soul knew that. But I had to be broken to come to that point. And it was gratitude journaling, because there was something to be grateful for in and some of that enlightenment was part of the things that I was writing about, just even having my car to live in, and there being a park to go and work out in, and having my cat there, just random things to be grateful for. But, I look back at that, though, still wanting to understand why that happened. And it was because I was abusing drugs. Let's just shoot it straight. This is 20 years ago now. I was abusing drugs, and I attracted one of the most toxic, abusive situations I could have possibly been in. And, when things are coming back to you, it's important to understand how often you're thinking the self-loathing thoughts, the thoughts about self. This is why the accountability is so important in trying to pinpoint that belief system within yourself, no matter where it came from, whether it came from media or your mom or your dad or whatever this case may be, because you're thinking this all the time. And if in my case, I was addicted to drugs. I was hating on myself constantly, felt like a failure, disappointment, disgusted with myself. But there was a lot going on. A lot critical of myself. I would try to get sober and then I couldn't, failing over and over. But even, fast forward to another serious relationship 15 years later, just about, maybe it was like 13 years later. And I ended up in a narcissistic type of a relationship. I was so critical of my physical body at that point in my life. I was constantly picking myself apart, but thoughts I was thinking all the time, every time I passed a mirror. Every time I went to eat something, every time it was every time I'm trying something on, every time that's why it's so important to evaluate what kind of mental diet's happening in your being.
Well,
because it's creating, it's literally creating.
Well, I've been reading recently in a couple of very enlightening books that I've been reading that, Earth is considered the universal training ground for humans, so we all want to be 100% happy and blissful and joyful all the time. But then we run into these conflict and dark areas in our life and we get knocked down. But as human beings, we use that to raise ourselves up. I mean, the sad part is those humans that never learn and don't raise themselves up. But that's part of it. Our journey here in life is to learn to forgive. And if you don't learn it in this life, you will in the next one when you come back.
Definitely. Forgiveness, I feel, is a massive part to transformation and to healing. And, just the fact that you can look back and say, okay, cool. Like that situation came up in my life, in this journey, in this lifetime, to be able to just clear it out, to learn something about myself, to learn how to be more compassionate toward others. There's not a day that I don't look back on that relationship anymore that I attracted years ago and have any hard feelings. It took me time to heal for sure, but I look back and it's truly a blessing because it helped me face the things that I was so scared of as a child from different trauma and abuse that I faced as a child. And for always feeling like I have to put other people before me in order to love myself, right? That was that role that just kept playing in my mind. And I love so much how you call it the diet. What did you call it verbatim?
Diet.
The mental diet. Amazing, because it just really, you are feeding that to yourself all day. You are feeding yourself those thoughts and the belief system and everything. And then when you kind of take a step back and you look at that and you're like, hey, is this actually working for me? Or am I just replaying the same broken record that's just like keeping me at like a humming sound that is not going anywhere? It's not helping at all. And I actually see that a lot with my clients too, that they've seemed to hold on to a story that is just replaying in their mind. That's really telling them, you aren't enough. You can't do it. You don't have the support. I mean, support is a whole nother thing too, because the universe, if you believe it, right, the universe is always there to support you, to show you the way, to guide you, to give you the red flags, to give you, intuitive hits and knowingness. And when you can have that alignment with the universe and that strong bond with the universe, I just put out a video last week about having a strong bond with the universe and how to build that up. So even if there's not people in your outer reality that you can really go to and connect with, and say if you don't have a coach yet or someone that you're turning to really help you out of your mess, if you will, even though it's not necessarily a mess, but you know what I mean? That you do have that strong bond with source. So that source can help you along the way as well. And really trusting in that and forgiving yourself for getting into that position, which it's not even anything that you should ever be ashamed of either. I've worked with like people all over the whole, I don't even know what the word would even be. I'm going to say world for lack of the term, but for people who are just at all different stages of their life. I've worked in treatment with alcoholics and people addicted to substances, like young kids, 18, 17, 15, like kids and adults who are spending their time there. And one of my jobs, I was literally hired to help people reconnect with their spirituality, whatever that meant and looked like to them. And I got to do workshops every week, twice a week with these people going through this treatment program and literally all helping them come down to the basics and say, okay, who is my network? Who's going to be lifting me up? Meaning spirit, meaning self-love, rebuilding that beautiful muscle and forgiving themselves along the way too. Forgiveness was, I think, why I even started talking about that. And then I just go on a total tangent, but
beautiful tangent. It was beautiful. Forgiveness is so essential. I mean, it's probably one of the most important skill sets a person can really master in this lifetime, especially in the foundation level. I too have worked with a lot of people in sobriety. There are 12-step programs. That's the biggest component of it is forgiveness. But it comes down to the fact that the person you're angry at or resentful at, like, you're not hurting them by being angry and holding the grudge. You're hurting yourself.
Yes.
The only moment that counts is now. Now is creating tomorrow. And if thinking about yesterday gets you fired up, angry, resentful, sitting in your, shitty poopy diaper for life, waddling around in it. Like if it's evoking low vibrational feelings, then just don't go there. Rewrite it. Who says you have to remember things the way that they happen? Write your own story. Remember it the way you want to. I've rewritten my entire childhood to not include abuse, to not include the things that displease me. And I remember them that way now. And it's my choice. But at the end of the day, like I was saying, like the only person being angry or resentful is hurting is you. It's a vibration coming back to you.
Yes.
Always going to you.
I'm going to have to check with the censors if we can say poopy diaper.
Poopy diaper. I started to say the other one. I'm like, oh, somebody's toddler could be in the room. I better.
I just want to remind the viewers and listeners talking to two of my amazing friends and light workers and coaches, Eleni Yiambilis and Renee Marcou. I didn't mess your name up. Just amazing, amazing. And they have such beautiful information to share here. By the way, anybody who would like to check both of their YouTube videos, they are online. They both produce some amazing, almost on a daily basis, videos that will inspire, enlighten you. I know I watch them every day. I just get up and dance after watching them. You guys do a great job. Renee, you've really been active on Instagram too.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
I'm going to shift gears here a little bit. I'm good at this. You guys, you two, and most of my viewers and listeners are aware that I have a short ebook called The 3 Pillars, a simple 3-step process in how to positively and permanently manifest change in your life. And so what I would like to talk about here is the 3 pillars being mental, physical, and spiritual. The three of us are both into active exercise, physical fitness. Eleni, you do all kinds of workout. Renee, mainly it's yoga for you and walking Cody, your dog.
Of course.
Myself is running. So my question here is, how do you, and because I find this true in my own life, I wondered how you guys thought, how does physical fitness, staying active, change or enhance or create positive aspects in your spiritual and metaphysical realms? It does an effect on me. How does it help you guys? Whoever wants to jump in.
I mean, I'm happy to go, but Renee, if you're feeling
on, go for it, girl.
Go ahead, Eleni.
Okay. Well, fitness. I mean, fitness was part of the one of the big things that pulled me up, lifted me up when I was really down. And there's several reasons for that. Obviously, we know the brain chemical boosts that occur, serotonin and all that good stuff. You're getting your endorphins running, but what kind of energy is going through you? Okay, so let's think about the feeling states that happen during fitness. What happens? There's a feeling of accomplishment. It's a goal being achieved. Every little workout, I don't care what your starting point is or what you're intending to do for the workout, you have in mind what you're going to do, and then you get through it. And there's that feeling that you did something and you know that it's good for you. You know that you just did something that is good for you. And you know that it has benefits across many platforms of your health, your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health. So you're aware of this. You were aware of this before you began the workout. So you're feeling just that energy of, it's a confidence. First of all, you're confident because you just accomplished something. You're confident because your physical vessel is looking and feeling good. But you're aware that I am on top of things. I am taking care of my body. I am crushing my goals. I am doing the things I set out to do for today. I am on task to eat healthier today because I just worked out. Whatever it might be, the energy that you're creating is nothing but a good energy. To me, it's very much a sense of accomplishment and a sense of confidence. And trying to think of what other feelings I feel when I work out. I feel ambitious, driven. That's another vibration that comes in, and that can return to you in other areas of your life. Work. I feel love for myself when we get through a workout. I love my vessel. I do make sure to take time first thing every morning to appreciate my vessel. I love every cell gets up with me and gets me through the day. And I know and trust that it has the capability to live 150 years, unlike what many people have been told. We have amazing vehicles that can carry us through our lives if we honor and protect them. So I also feel like working out helps me to nurture that part of me.
Complete gold, as always.
Renee, what about your yoga? How does that help?
Yeah. So, well, yoga for me, it really helps me get into the present moment. So when I go to my mat, I'm here and I'm in the space with just me. There will be other people around me, but through the yoga principles I've learned, because I went through yoga training years ago, it's all about like you and your mat and feeling into your body, right? So yes, there's other people. Yes, there's a teacher there, but Renee is here for her body, to serve the body, to serve my mind, and to come complete into surrender mode. And also, like during the practice, I'll literally have ideas for programs during my practice. That's how present I am in that. I'm just so in the space of allowing. So sometimes I literally will, some of the teachers that I go to are my friends. So I'm like, just so you know, I have a little journal over here. Like, I'm like, not following in the flow. I'm just jotting something down real quick. Like that's what always happens. But it's so true. Everything Eleni said, it's really about putting yourself in your body first, so that your body can keep you here on this earth, so that you can stay enjoying this journey and showing up and living on purpose. And when you can feed that vessel in all different ways, exercise, food, water, whatever you're putting inside, you're able, like it literally goes down to every cell. It literally regenerates all of the good energy. And there's something that came to mind that I wanted to mention as well. When we are say moving through things or releasing things, it just wants to leave our body. Like the things that we've held on to that are, stories or pains or whatever, all it wants to do, it's not here to haunt you. It just wants to leave your body. So in order to allow that flow and to get back into the flow of the good feeling space, right, we can move the body, and naturally it starts to move away from your body. So I'm walking all the time, of course, with my 18-year-old pup. I'm dancing. Like dance is huge for me. And I don't post as much dancing videos or content as I do yoga, but dance, I will put on music that just lights my fire, and I will just dance out all of these like low vibrations, or like, yeah, like that, like really didn't sit well, like bang, like I'm like jumping up and down on the ground. Like, honestly, you should be a fly on the wall. It's kind of fun, but like I just move my body and allow that energy to just leave me. So it doesn't stick to me as negative energy or cells that are just like creating, fat or just sticking around for no reason. It wants to leave. So I have to move my body so that it does. And in the process, everything Eleni said, you get that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of success, that feeling of joy. It's just natural. Like the brain produces this gorgeous essence within us that we just get to be in flow and be in love and be in abundance. It's literally a natural thing that the body does. And the endorphin system and all of that. So
And the things that I have found after a workout, or, again, for me running, is the clarity that comes from, because you have worn off, you have exercised, literally exercised, almost like exercising a demon, exercised all the stress and those negative thoughts, and you're a little more even keeled. And by doing so, you can be more objective. So if an egoic thought comes in and says, go do this, be judgmental, I'm not interested in that, and here's the bottom line for me. As a spiritual student of A Course in Miracles, where we understand that this body, this life we're in, is actually an illusion, and it's not real. Well, you say, well, if it's an illusion, why should I go exercise? And why should I even bother with the body? Well, the bottom line is we're here. Even though it may be an illusion, we're still living this life. You need to live it as best as you can. So why not live it at the peak of physical fitness? Because peak fitness and health correlate to a longer, healthier, more enjoyable, loving, happy life. Just like Eleni said, I mean, theoretically, we could live to 150 years or longer if we didn't allow ourselves to fall in those paradigms of belief. Well, my body is supposed to be, fall apart and everything. But really, there is a very real reason that you should take care of your body. And, even if you're sitting at home and you're 100 pounds overweight and you have poor self-worth, even if you just went out and walked maybe if you can even only go a half a block, it's a beginning, and I can guarantee those people, and you two know this, they're going to find that little bit less stress in their life, a little bit more clarity, and you keep building on it. And that's why the physical pillar is so important. Yeah. Thank you for the contribution on that. That is great.
Renee and I are having dance parties together when we're 125 years old. We're not expecting deterioration of our bodies.
Well,
No.
I'll
We're
be about 200 years old, and I'm going to come and dance with you guys. I'm so good at shifting all these gears and everything here. I want to ask you, Renee, since you now have your own life coaching certification program, tell us why someone would want to become a life coach.
Such a juicy question, Carl, because I could literally spend an hour explaining this.
Oh, a little bit of time.
So someone who wants to be a life coach, they really have to be embodied of service. I really think, not any person is made to be a life coach. It really has to be a person who wants to make an impact in a positive way on the world or on 5 people's lives, however big or small you decide, that really has this passion and this light within themselves that is ready to take a risk, take a stand, and go out and fulfill their mission. For me, the beautiful life coaches I've certified over the last couple of years of having a certification program, they've all come to the table and say, this is why I'm here. Like, I really want to make a difference. It's never been about leading with the money and the financial impact they'll have. Granted, it's okay if that's the way, but when you live in that service and that juice is within you, that's just, I want to get out there. I want to help people. I want to serve from my full cup. Your money is going to come fast. Like your ideal situation on whatever finances look like to you or the lifestyle. Some people who come just want to have a different lifestyle. They don't want to work for anybody anymore. They're just ready for something new. And it's really when you come to that place of, and this is one of my coach's questions. She says, when you come from the place of what prayers can my business answer today, you are 100% in service, and all of the other beautiful things that come along with owning your own business get to just show up for you. And it's so liberating. To me, it's all about really having that lifestyle that you really want. And for me, it's been freedom. Ever since I came on into the music industry at age 15 years old, love it. I didn't love the industry as much, but I loved the experiences that I've had. And now since 25 and on, I've defined what my music career is to me and what it feels good for me. But I've also along the lines introduced, when I was 21 years old, introduced life coaching into my business because I wanted to make the big impact on the world that I know I came here to make, whether it's through my voice with music or through its healing with my vocal cords, whatever it is. That's why I knew that coaching was a part of my journey. And since I opened my own business, it's been incredible. The freedom that I have, the freedom lifestyle. I grew up with 2 entrepreneurial parents, so it was probably ingrained to me very young, but it doesn't mean that if you've been working a corporate job for 20 so years, that you can't be a coach. It is really all about that light within you to serve, in the sense of not servitude where you're like, serving all day long, and by the end of the day, you're feeling decrepit. It's not that. It's aligning with your truth, your wisdom, so that you can shine that upon the people who are ready to make the change.
What's the name of your life coaching program, and how can people connect with you on that?
Oh, absolutely. So the coaching program is a 6-month container with me personally. I will be in the coaching group sessions with you. And then there's also a course that you can go through on your own timing. So I've had some students come in and knock it out within 4 weeks, depending on everybody's schedule, right? And then I've had students come in and they're knocking it out within 6 months. And you can literally start your business from the ground up here. And I also have other people who have been yoga instructors or fitness instructors that already have a business that they wanted to add this piece in. It's so many goodies in there. I could just talk about it all day, but if you want to learn more about it, I do have a website. Is it okay to mention the website?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's iHeartAcademy.com/products/sacred.
Very cool.
Sacred transformations. So,
Eleni, I think you and I need to sign up.
One of the things I love about Renee is that she really helps to pull out authenticity from others. I know, like, just in speaking with her, she really helps to tap into the authentic vibration of someone's passion, because life coaching is going to look different for everyone. And I think that one of the gifts that she has is helping people connect to what can they offer. It's like, I want to help the world. I want to be a coach. I just don't know the best direction for me. How can I market it? And then giving people the skills of how to run your business. That's the secret sauce, right? It's like, okay, well, now I'm a life coach. What do I do? Yeah. But what really, I think one of the things, because I've checked out Renee's, I've referred people to her, and I've checked out her website. And that's one of the things she's really thorough on, because so often you take these courses and then you feel like, well, now what? So just really empowering people to stand up and make a living for themselves, doing with what they can with the skill they just learned and embodied.
Thank you so much. Thank you for saying that, honey. That is so meaningful to me. Thank you.
I just want to add on to what you said earlier too, Renee, is, you and I both graduated from the same life coaching certification program in 2012. And before I went into that program, I was just at a point where I was ready for something like that. And, they say the teacher will come when the student is ready. And I just happened to get an email, well, you can do this year-long program. And my first thought was, wait, I can actually live a life following my passion to help other people and make a living at it. Yeah, count me in. So, yes. But it was exactly what you said. I wasn't jumping in it to make millions of dollars. Because I was ready to be a light to the world. And life coaching is a great way to do that.
It really is. And there are people who are making millions of dollars being coaches. I'm not guaranteeing anyone's coming to my course and going to be millionaire overnight. That is not it. It's really all about your alignment with your business. Mm-hmm. But there are people who are literally doing so well. Some colleagues of mine as well, like easily making 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year. My coach, who I hire, is at an 8-figure business a year. And it's so incredible that you can get paid to do what you literally love, taking your passion and making it a purpose too, and making that into profit. And it's not even about looking at your clients to be that, that source of income, but rather looking at your clients of, hey, I'm going to serve you far and wide. You are going to be transformed. You're going to end up wanting to tell all of your family and friends about what I have to offer. And it's just going to unravel. And it's true. Everybody will have their own specific set of skills that they can positively impact whoever their clients are. And I'm not here to serve 7 billion people of the world. I'm here to serve my sliver of people, right? And that's all that people in the coaching industry need to know. It's not about having to be famous or having to be Beyonce, or it's not about that. It's about finding the group that you want to serve the most and then having an incredible lifestyle business while you're doing that.
And isn't it funny too? Almost every coach I know, life coach I know, has their own coach. For instance, Renee has coached me. And to positive effect. So thank you very much. So, well, gosh, we've had a really far-ranging conversation. So I still have one other one. I'm really interested in this, being a without having any kids. I'm curious, Eleni, you're a mother of a young girl. How can what you practice as a light worker and teacher of truth help you in your role as a mom? And what advice would you offer to other moms raising a child in these crazy, crazy times in our world? I'd love to hear about that.
That is a very deep question. We could have done a whole episode on this one.
Go for it.
But for me, being a mother, it really helps me with staying aware and staying present and staying focused. So to all the moms out there, I say jump in and have fun with your kids. Be present with them. Try to see the world through their eyes, because they're feeding on your vibration. If you're afraid or you're talking about disharmony in the world, they're forming those beliefs right now. I'm very, very aware of what is, what my daughter's taking in, because I know I can't be in control of that all the time. So I try to, with her, reaffirm what a safe world this is, what a loving world this is. And I, teach her now that there are people who are waking up to the good in the world and understanding what source is. And we have the ability to install new programs, because there are going to be external sources constantly bombarding your child. I see it in the video games. I see it on even in the cartoons, and just to create a loving environment and being present and having fun is not only great for your children to get that best part of you, but it's great for you. I mean, you want to talk about magical vibration, joy. There's a very famous guy from the Bible who said once, to enter the kingdom, one must be as a little child. I do believe they called him Jesus. But it's the truth. There's a magic in children's energy. So moms, tap into the magic of your child. We get, if we're living too much in what needs to be done and the tasks that need to be done around the house and the to-do list for the week, you're not in the moment. You're not in the moment. And the moment is creating the rest of your week, the rest of your life. So the dishes can wait. The laundry can wait. That's one of the best lessons that I've learned, is that stuff can wait.
Mm-hmm.
It can wait. It always gets done. And I feel like when I say to myself, it can wait, everything gets done far more efficiently than when I'm adding a stressful energy to it. And I just relax a little and recenter and connect to the senses, to the now. Because she is magic. The children are magic.
Well, I think I remember you once saying that you caught yourself one time that you were actually teaching your daughter a lack mentality or something. I forget what you said. No, something like that. But you have to monitor what you're doing.
Oh, you do? Yeah. I remember specifically what you're talking about. I realized that I was fear conditioning my daughter because I was restricting her a lot, because I was looking at, why am I being restricted? Again, accountability pants. When you start to really be clean and become clean, and you're noticing the things in your life that aren't working, and you attribute the vibration, I'm like, why are limits showing up for me? Why are limits showing up? I don't, I've worked through belief system limits. Why are limits showing up? I limit my daughter all the time. I tell her, no. Get off the couch. No, you'll fall. Don't climb. No, ow, don't, ow, no, stop, eat, and that's fear. You could fall. You'll snap your neck. Don't climb on top of the swing set. Don't run too fast. Watch for that stick. Don't run with a lollipop. Like all the things that my mother said to me, the way she fear conditioned me. Yeah. And now, I said to her, mommy's really sorry about all these times that I've told you no. Because we trust in source, and only good things are going to come to us. We give good energy out. Only good things can come to us. And I was able to flip it. But that was the connecting dot for me. I wouldn't even have thought about it if I wasn't hitting some blocks in my own life that made me think about, okay, the vibration that's coming up here is limits. Where am I facing limits? Where am I limiting myself? Where am I limiting someone else? And it was her. Yeah. It was her. It was like one of those aha moments that was just like, oh, wow. Wow. It's all coming back. It's all a loop.
I wonder if some of that has to do with the time you grew up. When I was a kid, I can remember coming home when I was like 6 or 7. I go, Mom, Ronnie hit me in the head with a rock. Oh, that's nice, dear. Go wash off and get ready for dinner. Now the moms tell you, put on your iron suit before you go out on your mountain bike and your mask and make sure. So, well, we're going to wind up here. I have one question that's probably we can talk about for another hour, but I have two lovely, beautiful women here, just amazing beings of light, and I find this interesting. From my perspective as a man, it seems that right now, right here in this time, women seem to be more empowered, free, and enlightened than ever at any time in history before. Am I on that, or do you have thoughts on that?
I feel like you're onto it for sure. I think the women have been able to, or the feminine energy has been able to pull back the veils and say, okay, fellas, maybe, we can add some more leveling up of our energy. So therefore calling forth the male masculine energy to also rise up as well. I think that there has been such a way. I actually made a post about this the other day, that on International Women's Day on my Facebook page, that I've for so long always celebrated my queens. I've celebrated all the women in the world. And, on that day, it wasn't that I've gone from like, oh, like I'm celebrating out of 5. Now I'm celebrating you out of 10. It was like, I've been 10 celebrating my women, my feminine, gorgeous queens all around the world, always. So it was like, wow, this is cool. But I'm recognizing the women who had put themselves out there to fight for our rights, to add to the light of the value of the women. I mean, gosh, like even as a kid, I remember thinking that like the man was in charge, or, I grew up in an Italian family, my grandparents, and, there's all these different little ideas about what feminine energy was supposed to be. And my grandmother really imparted the truth about the feminine energy. We are the magic. Like we, hold this gorgeous womb inside of us that creates children, creates life. And granted, that doesn't take away from the men, but I love that the women are coming back home now, that it's ownership of our queenliness, it's ownership of our light. And it's not in that ego space of like, I'm the queen, bow down to me. It's like, I'm the queen. Let me show you how to level up as the king. Let me just lead the way. Let me remind you of your truth. Let me just embody this gorgeous feminine energy that radiates so much light and love. And the world just gets to receive it. And we get to receive it. Being in flow and taking ourselves out of I need to be masculine and feminine to make things happen. Like we get to step into the feminine energy and flow, and things just are born easier. That's my take on it right now.
Oh,
how about you, Eleni?
I couldn't agree more. There's definitely this is a time where more women are just empowered and standing in their authentic light. And the feminine energy is that intuition. It is the awakening energy. But it's like also too, the men have come around in a new light. The influence of the feminine energy on men being open to maybe there's a different way, learning the importance of cultivating intuition, tapping into spirituality, and thinking in a whole new light. I think it's an awakening of an energy in which women are now being able to step forward in their light, in their power, stand in their power comfortably, because it's a time in the world when we can. The only ceilings are the ones we place above ourselves. It doesn't matter what gender you are. And men are new generations are coming up now in power, where it's completely acceptable. It's not an odd thing for a woman to be in power. It's women's ideas are welcomed and encouraged. And it's just a beautiful time to be alive. It is a beautiful time to be in this time-space reality. There is far more acceptance and love than there is hate and growth and expansion.
Yes. Sorry.
Well, I just think that one of the most interesting things for me as a man, especially doing what I do now as a coach and a light worker, I have seen, especially with my Power of Eight healing group, when we do healing sessions, it's still almost the vast majority, if not all of them, are women who come to it. Women seem to be more open to all things enlightening, spiritual and metaphysical than men. And so I'm thinking, well, okay, I think maybe they're on to something here. And I'm just kind of, on my guys going over and knocking on their forehead. Hello, guys, come on. These women understand you can open up to it too. But I grew up, in an era, when chauvinism was an acceptable thing. And I'm sure I went through my periods of that. But thanks to lovely ladies like you two, you're allowing me to open up and understand that divine feminine, and it's about time. Women have been suppressed, enslaved, and dominated for literally all of the entire history of mankind, and there's still, unfortunately, still pockets of that around the world, way too many. But yeah, I think it's the divine feminine time.
For sure. And I so second everything that you said. And I also love sharing. Like, I have a lot of men who follow my accounts as well. And the content and things, even when I'm speaking directly to women, I'm like, men, you can still tune in because this is going to positively affect you. Or even maybe you'll be inspired to share this with your friend, a girlfriend, wife, whatever. And it really is so amazing from my perspective to see the men transitioning into this time as well, to really saying, okay, oh, so I'm not going to be made fun of for showing my emotions, or like, I'm not going to be made fun of for going to a yoga class and being spiritual. So like, literally a round of applause for men who are stepping up and being like, okay, maybe this is uncomfortable at first, but I am going to get into that more of my emotions. I'm not going to block things out. I am going to express myself with truth in loving communication. Like, that is so powerful. And I'm not sure who started it, whether it's the feminine energy or the masculine energy first, but I'm just so happy at the sense that we've all been having this new vibration. It is this new vibration on the planet. I hold this space for all people to be able to really own their truth in this lifetime and love that divine essence of who they are, and really allow themselves to live their greatest life. And that feminine energy is something so powerful to tap into.
And it's all because humanity is finally starting to raise themselves up into the 5D.
Exactly.
Truth.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you guys how much fun this is to have you two on World Awakenings. What a blast. Oh my God. Well, it's time for the sunglasses again, you guys. I gotta put you guys, the radiance is, look at the sun behind me is blasting through you guys.
Always making jokes, Carl.
I used to be a radio disc jockey, and they would pay me money to be silly. But I still have the silliness part.
Amazing.
Well, listen, we've been speaking to Eleni Yiambilis and Renee Marcou. One more time, Eleni, tell us about your website, kaliteros.life, and what you do with it.
Kaliteros is just a place where I get to do all the things I love. We create content. It's a subscription-based model, all kinds of courses, everything from using the universal laws to change your appearance, to attracting love, and an understanding in our master course of the universal laws. All our social links are up there at kaliteros.life. So making content all the time, videos that can help add perspective and, help you make shifts. So I love what I do, and I'm very fortunate.
Now, people can connect to kaliteros.life on Facebook. You have a Facebook page for it?
We do. Kaliteros Life. Yep. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, TikTok. We're there.
Almost every day, Eleni is posting short, nice, incredibly wise and loving videos. I suggest you check those out. And Renee, like I said, I know you have a number of Facebook pages and groups, and you've been very active on Instagram. It seems like Instagram has made it more accessible for people too.
For sure. Yeah. My Instagram account, if anyone wants to follow, is Love Beauty Balance. And I put out a lot of different content. I speak a lot to my entrepreneurs and, of course, my queens out there, but it's welcome for everybody. Put out is literally what I go onto my phone or to my account and I say, who needs something today that I can speak for or through or connect to, and I just go on and share. And I love that account. I also have my Facebook accounts as well. I have a private community on Facebook for anybody who wants to get down and dirty with manifestation. It's Manifest Like a Boss. I know you both are in there, and I love having your presence in the group so much. So thank you. And lots of other cool things out there, but
well, I love the fact that when you first got your Instagram account, it was actually Love, Beauty, and Bananas.
It was. Okay, that was like
I love it.
I remember the time at the event that you, the 5K race that you announced, and he was 5K. Yes. Yeah. And you were like, all right, if anyone's looking for bananas after they've run the 5K, just make sure you check out Love, Beauty, Bananas, like Renee's account. And I'm like cracking up. But yeah, I thought, that is a super fun name. I just thought, Love, Beauty, Balance is kind of direct to more of what I do in the world and my business, the energy we hold.
And one last thing I'd really like to suggest that you guys look up Renee's music vocal videos. I mean, she truly is a phenomenal vocalist. Your music videos are first class. I mean, just top-notch professional things. I'm sure you dropped a couple bucks on the production, but it was so worth it.
Thank you so much for saying that. My videos always come with a purpose. And if I'm going to be creating something, putting my creative energy and love into something, there's a reason behind it. And pretty sure all the ones that you've seen have all had some type of purpose behind it, especially the one from my late friend, Tim Brady. And it's called Long Way From Home. So
one of my favorites. Yeah. Well, we've been speaking to Eleni Yiambilis and Renee Marcou. My gosh, my two friends. Namaste. I got to say for you guys, namaste. What a beautiful chat. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Eleni, so much love to you.
So much love to you too. Carl, thanks for having us. This was way fun. You guys just keep shining your light and doing what you guys do. Shining that authentic, beautiful light for this world.
That's it, girl. And same to you. I just love what you're doing. I fully support you. And I'm so glad that Carl connected us, not only today, but last month as well. Yeah.
This has been another episode of World Awakenings, the fast track to enlightenment with your host, Carl Gruber, a certified Law of Attraction life coach. We welcome you to tune in each and every episode of this podcast, World Awakenings, as we open your mind, your heart, and your eyes to the fact that all the world's population is now, more than ever, awakening to the truth of all things metaphysical and spiritual, and just how they play an all-important role in our moment-to-moment everyday life. Much love and light to you, my friend. Thank you for tuning in.